Hey guys, welcome to this new series. So you want to play Lizardmen today? So, Total War Warhammer 2 is a massive game with so many legendary lords and factions, so it can be difficult to know who to start to play with. Um, so I'm going to be doing this series to guide you in the right direction, hopefully. So first of all, we'll look at the legendary lords of the Lizardmen, and then we'll go into some gameplay tips. So first of all, if you're a new player, you probably do not have all the DLCs. So we won't go in a lot of detail into the three DLC lords, but that's fine because they're all pretty unique and different, and some bad, like they're not the best campaign. So you best avoid them if you're starting out as a Lizardman player. So let's go over the remaining lords. So first of all, we have Masamundi. I would not recommend him for first campaign. Not that you can't do it, of course you can, but it's still it's a bit of a tougher campaign. You got more enemies. You might get attacked by a lot of different areas, and he's got some diplomatic penalties. And to me, he's not the the like the representation of a standard Lizardman, really the most basic representation of a Lizardman campaign. That role would not go to Tic Tac Toe either because he's really gimmicky with flying units. So I would recommend either Gor-rok or Kroggar. They're both fighters, they're really tanky. Gor-rok especially has some nice bonuses. You start with a super powerful caster. So they're really like to me the most normal start, and I would definitely recommend one of those two. So without further ado, let's right away go into some quick gameplay tips to guide you into your first Lizardman experience. Alright, so here you are at the start of a Gor-rok campaign, for an example. So you can read these, of course. I'm not gonna go over all the things, and I'm also not gonna be doing a tutorial how to play the game. If you guys want that, make sure to comment and tell me like, hey, we want just a general how to play Warhammer tutorial. Okay, so Lizardmen's, their main gimmick is this, the Geomantic Web. It's basically, you can ignore it most of the time. Just need to remember that this building here, you want to try and build that one into every capital you can. It's gonna give you some pretty hefty money. So Lizardmen usually have a very slow economy at first, so you don't want to invest too much into growth. I usually just get the first one to get some technologies, but I never build growth as Lizardmen. Public order, it depends on your difficulty, but money is very important. Try and get your economy started. For military unit, I usually would recommend just going for sources early on. Red crested skinks and skink skirmishers are pretty much useless. You don't really want to invest into those. Chameleon skinks are really good, but again, it's an investment that I would not recommend going for. Usually, if you want to go really efficiently, pure sources at first with your starting unit should really be strong. Once again, Croxigors are fun but big investments. If you like flying units, you can go for these, but they require more micro. So flying units I recommend later, and their cavalry, the Cold One Caves, they're pretty weak. They don't stand in melee a long time, and I usually don't recommend getting those early. Except if you really feel like you want some fast units, but even then, I wouldn't invest just for cavalry early on. All right. If we go in, so this scrying pool is pretty useless, but it's important for technologies. Tunnels, we don't need those. All right. So finally, the blue buildings. Um, this one is pretty important. You want to start getting some dinosaurs really early, and before that was tier 3, but now it's tier 2, so that's great. So dinosaurs early with sources is really a great winning strategy. This line here is pretty fun. Salamanders are pretty good to focus strong units, so it's not bad. It gives you some public order and some money. This temple here you should get to once you get more money. I know that casters are important, but especially usually Lizardmen start with a caster. If it's not Lord Croak, you're gonna get a skink priest or something. So you're not in a hurry to get this line over here. Dinos always, and finally the star chamber over here. This one is not required early on. Do not invest in a slan. They got like this building costs a lot of gold and it gives you a very small income boost. It's pretty strong late game, but early game just go for sources and dinosaurs and you're gonna be pretty okay. Always try and find your gold sources. So here, of course, if this is my first turn, I would build a gold. Put my hero into my army because we're going to fight this force here. For my last remaining building, dinosaurs and this one here, just so I can get the tablet. I won't be researching any new unit. I don't need them. So we're going to be killing these poor Skavens. There we go. I'm not going to fight this one, but I recommend usually to manually fight. But now you can see what the auto resolve does. Of course, versus rat, just go for auto resolve. There we go. And that's your first turn as Gor-rok. So we got 2 settlements in this one. You probably don't want to go for lumber because we don't have trade and we don't really need it. I would probably go for money. And if, of course, if you need public order, probably go for public order. Don't go for growth. Your money will be a bigger problem than growth. Yeah. So technologies, let's go over quickly. I usually try and go for this one here, the sequence of Saurus invigoration. So try and research the Saurus line as fast as you can. But most of the Lizardmen researches are pretty good. They all have some strength, be it... I would not go for the skinks, except if you're building skinks. This one here is not too good, the crafts one, because the bonuses, they take a long time to give you the money that, like, and I think the money would be better spent because you're not gonna have big armies buffing your units. Once again, this one is growth. I don't recommend it too early on because early on you're not going to have growth problems. The diplomacy one, again, not too early on, so I would either go for the war or the Saurus one. Spawning, once again, I don't really care because early on you're not gonna be spawning a lot of armies and you usually want to keep your units alive and they're gonna get a lot of ranks. So yeah, Tablet of War or Tablet of Saurus is for your first researches. And yeah, that's a Lizardmen campaign start. Of course, your hero skills, that's a topic for another subject. Usually at least take Road Marcher and then you can either go... I usually like going red line, but that's just me buffing your armies early on. And that's how you get started with Lizardmen. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. Make sure to tell me how to improve the next one. I'm going to make a series and try to cover all factions. And I'll catch you guys next time.